She closed the door behind us. Not fast, not loud, just slow and careful. The click of the lock sounded louder than my heartbeat. A second ago, I was standing in the hallway with my phone in my hand, still trying to understand how my life had turned into this moment. My close friend's mom was in front of me, her back against the door, her eyes warm and calm. Her lips curved into a soft smile that made my head feel light. "You're very kind," she said quietly. Then she turned and walked deeper into her room. And without thinking, I followed her. But let me go back, because none of this was supposed to happen. Hi everyone. Before I tell you the rest, let me ask you something. Where are you watching from right now? What city, what state, what country? I always like to know where people are listening from. It makes me feel less alone. My name is Daniel. I'm 23 years old. White guy. Average height. Nothing special. At least, I thought I was nothing special. This story happened 2 years ago, when I had just finished college and moved back to my small hometown in Ohio. I came back with big dreams and very little money. I took a job at a grocery store in the mornings and delivered food at night. Life was simple, hard but honest. That's when I reconnected with my childhood friend, Ryan. Ryan and I grew up on the same street, played baseball together, broke windows together, got into trouble together. He was like my brother. Ryan lived with his mom, Linda. Everyone in town knew Linda. She was kind, warm, always smiling. She worked at the local library and baked cookies for the kids in the neighborhood. She was the kind of woman who remembered your name, your birthday, and your favorite snack. To me, she was just Ryan's mom. Nothing more. Or so I thought. One Saturday afternoon, Ryan asked me to come over. "Mom's making lunch," he said, "and I need help fixing my laptop." I went because I was hungry and because Ryan was my best friend. When I walked into their house, the smell of fresh bread filled the air. Linda was in the kitchen. She turned when she heard the door. "Oh, Daniel," she said with that same warm smile, "you've grown so tall." She hugged me. Not long, not tight, just gentle. And somehow my face felt warm after. Lunch was simple. Soup, sandwiches, cold lemonade. We sat and talked about life. Ryan complained about work. I talked about saving money to move to the city. Linda listened. Really listened. She asked questions. She laughed at my jokes. At one point she said, "You're a good young man, Daniel. Your parents raised you well." That made me feel proud. After lunch, Ryan went upstairs to get his laptop. Linda started washing dishes. I offered to help. She smiled, "You're sweet, come here." While we washed, she told me stories about when Ryan was small. How he cried at night. How he broke his arm falling from a tree. How scared she was raising him alone after her husband left. Her voice got soft when she talked about that. I felt something in my chest. Not attraction. Not yet. Just empathy. I saw her not as Ryan's mom, but as a woman who had been lonely for a long time. After the dishes, Ryan shouted from upstairs, "Dan, I'll be a while. You can chill with Mom." So I stayed in the living room with Linda. She sat on the couch. I sat on the chair across from her. She scrolled on her phone. Then she frowned. "These pictures never come out right," she said. "What pictures?" I asked. She turned her phone toward me. Photos of her in a blue summer dress, standing in her garden, smiling, but the angles were bad. Could you help me? She asked. I want one nice picture to send my sister. Sure, I said. She stood up and went to the garden. The sun was bright. Flowers everywhere. She stood near a rose bush. Like this? She asked. I lifted my phone. And that's when I noticed things I had never noticed before. The way her hair fell softly over her shoulders. The gentle curve of her waist. The calm confidence in her eyes. She wasn't young, but she was beautiful. In a quiet way. I took a picture. Then another. Come closer, she said. I did. Lower angle, she said. I knelt. I took one more. She walked toward me and looked at the screen. She laughed softly. Oh my, I look old. Without thinking. Without planning. I said the words that changed everything. You look better than girls my age. The moment the words left my mouth, I froze. Why did I say that? What was wrong with me? She looked at me. Not shocked. Not angry. Just surprised. Then something else appeared in her eyes. Something warm. Something deep. She smiled slowly. That's a very bold thing to say, she whispered. I'm sorry, I said fast. I didn't mean. No, she said gently, don't apologize. She touched my arm. Just lightly. But my whole body felt it. You're very kind, she said again. Then she looked toward the house. Toward the stairs. Ryan was still upstairs. Then she looked back at me. Come inside, she said quietly. I want to show you something. I followed her without thinking. Into the hallway. Up the stairs. Past Ryan's room. To her bedroom. And that is how I ended up standing in front of her. With the door closing behind us. And my heart beating so loud I thought she could hear it. She turned to me. Smiled. And said, there are things in life we don't plan, Daniel. She stepped closer. I couldn't move. I couldn't speak. And just when her hand reached for mine, I heard a sound. Footsteps. Coming down the stairs. Ryan. Right outside the door. And the handle started to turn. The door handle moved. Slowly. Carefully. Like someone was not sure if they should open it or not. My heart stopped. Linda's eyes went wide. For one long second, we both just stood there, frozen, staring at the door like it was about to explode. Mom, Ryan's voice came from the hallway. Have you seen my charger? Linda reacted fast. So fast, I barely understood what was happening. She grabbed my wrist, pulled me away from the door, pointed toward the far side of the room. Her closet. Go there, she whispered, please. I didn't think. I didn't argue. I moved. Quiet. Vast. She opened the closet door just enough for me to slip inside, then closed it again. Darkness swallowed me. Clothes brushed against my face. The smell of clean soap and perfume filled my nose. I stood there, barely breathing, my heart beating so loud I was sure everyone in the house could hear it. Outside the closet, I heard the bedroom door open. Mom, Ryan said again. Yes, sweetheart, Linda replied, her voice calm, too calm. What is it? Did you take my charger? I left it on the table. No, I didn't, she said. Check the kitchen. There was a pause. I imagined Ryan standing there, looking around the room. Every second felt like a minute. Then he said, okay, sorry. The door closed. Footsteps went down the hall. Down the stairs. Silence. I stayed in the closet, still, not moving, afraid, ashamed, confused. After a long moment, the closet door opened. Light rushed in. Linda stood there, breathing slow, her hand on her chest. "He's gone," she whispered. I stepped out. My legs felt weak. "I'm sorry," I said fast. "I shouldn't have." She shook her head. "No," she said softly, "this is not only your fault." She looked at me, really looked at me. Not as a mother, not as a friend's mom, but as a woman. And I felt it again. That strange pull, that quiet fire in my chest. We stood there in silence, neither of us knowing what to say. Finally, I spoke. "I should leave." "Yes," she said. But she didn't move. I didn't move either. Another long pause. Then she sighed. "Daniel, you don't understand how lonely it can be," she said quietly. Those words hit me harder than anything else. Lonely. I remembered the stories she told me downstairs. Her husband leaving, raising Ryan alone. Years passing. No one holding her hand at night. No one asking how her day was. I suddenly saw her not as danger, but as someone hurting. And without thinking, I said something very simple. "You're not invisible." She looked at me. Her eyes slowly filled with tears. "Thank you," she whispered. She wiped her face and took a deep breath. "This cannot happen," she said gently. "Not today, not ever. You are Ryan's friend." "I know," I said. And I meant it. She walked past me and opened the bedroom door. "Go downstairs, act normal." I nodded and walked out. The rest of that day felt strange. Very strange. I sat with Ryan in the living room. We fixed his laptop. We joked. We laughed. But my mind was not there. Every time Linda walked past, my heart jumped. Every time she spoke, I felt heat in my face. She acted normal, smiled, served snacks. No one would ever guess what almost happened upstairs. When I finally left, she hugged me at the door. Just like before. Normal. Safe. But her fingers stayed on my arm 1 second longer than usual. That night, I couldn't sleep. I kept replaying everything in my head. The picture, the words, the closet, the door. I felt guilty. Very guilty. Ryan trusted me. Linda trusted me. And I almost broke something beautiful. I promised myself it would never happen again. But life does not always listen to promises. The next week, Ryan called me. "Mom twisted her ankle at work," he said. "Can you help me take her to the doctor? I'm stuck at my shift." Of course, I said yes. Because that's what friends do. I went to their house. Linda was sitting on the couch, her foot wrapped in bandage. She smiled when she saw me. "Thank you for coming, Daniel." "You're welcome," I said. The car ride was quiet. Not uncomfortable. Just careful. At the clinic, we waited together. She winced when the nurse touched her ankle. I held the door. Got her water. Small kindness. Simple things. At one point she said, "You're very gentle." That word stayed with me. Gentle. After the doctor, I drove her home. When we arrived, she said, "Would you like some tea, just for a minute?" I should have said no. But I said yes. Inside, the house was quiet. Ryan was still at work. She made tea. We sat at the table. This time, there was no flirting. No touching. Just two people talking. About life. about mistakes, about dreams. She told me she once wanted to be a painter, but life got busy. Bills, child, work, dreams left behind. I listened, really listened, and I realized something important. This was not about desire. This was about connection. Two lonely people finding comfort. When I left, she said, "Thank you for today." And I went home feeling calm, safe, like the danger had passed. For a while, everything stayed normal. Weeks passed. I visited sometimes with Ryan. Linda acted the same as always. Kind, warm, motherly. I began to believe the moment upstairs was just a strange accident, something that would fade away. Until one evening, Ryan invited me over to watch a game. We sat on the couch, shouting at the TV, laughing, eating pizza. Linda was in the kitchen, cleaning. Then Ryan got a call from work. Emergency shift. He groaned. "I have to go," he said. "Sorry, man." He rushed out. And suddenly, it was just me and Linda, alone. Again, she came into the living room. "You're leaving too?" she asked. "I can," I said. "No," she said softly. "Stay, finish the game." So I stayed. We watched together, sitting far apart, respectful. Then the power went out. The screen went black. The house went dark. Linda laughed. Perfect timing. She went to get candles, lit them. The room glowed warm and soft, like a dream. We sat in silence for a while. Then she spoke. "Daniel, about that day upstairs." My stomach dropped. "I'm sorry," I said quickly. She shook her head. "No, I just want to say thank you." "For what?" "For seeing me," she said. I didn't answer. She moved closer on the couch. "Not touching, just closer." "I don't want to hurt my son," she said. "Neither do I said. She nodded. Then she surprised me. She leaned her head gently on my shoulder. Just for a second. Just a simple touch. But it felt heavy, meaningful, dangerous. I stayed still, not moving, not pushing away. The candle flickered. Shadows danced on the wall. And in that quiet moment, I felt something change. Not desire, not fear. Something deeper, something emotional. She lifted her head and looked at me, her face very close. Our eyes met. We did not speak. We did not touch. But everything was said. And just when I thought she might pull away, the front door opened. Ryan's voice called out, "I'm back." Linda jumped up. Too fast. Her knee hit the table. She cried out in pain. Ryan rushed in. "Mom, are you okay?" "Yes, yes," she said, "just clumsy." I stood up, heart racing, sweat on my back. Ryan looked at us. His eyes moved from me to her, then back to me. He smiled. "Thanks for staying with her, man." "Of course," I said. And I left soon after. That night my phone buzzed. A message from an unknown number. "Thank you for being kind to me today." I stared at the screen. I knew who it was. I did not reply. I put the phone down, tried to sleep, but my heart would not slow. Because deep inside, I knew something dangerous had begun. And the worst part, I did not know how to stop it. The next time we were alone, I did not plan it. I did not want it. But life has a strange way of pushing people into moments they are not ready for. 2 weeks passed after that night with the candles. 2 long weeks. I tried to stay away. I stopped visiting Ryan as much. I worked more hours. I kept my phone busy. But I could not forget. Every time my phone vibrated, my heart jumped. Sometimes it was Ryan. Sometimes it was work. And sometimes it was Linda. Short messages. Simple ones. Hope your day is going well. Thank you again for helping me with the doctor. Ryan says hi. Nothing wrong. Nothing dangerous. But every message carried something more. Something quiet. Something unsaid. I replied politely. Never too much. Never too fast. I was trying to protect everyone. Ryan, Linda, and myself. Then one afternoon, Ryan called me. Can you help me move a desk? He asked. Mom bought a new one and I can't lift it alone. I hesitated, but I said yes, because that's what friends do. When I arrived, Ryan was sweating, already trying to drag the desk across the living room. Linda stood nearby, holding her ankle. Still healing. Thank God you came, Ryan said. This thing is heavy. We carried the desk upstairs to Ryan's room. When we came back down, Ryan checked his phone. Oh no, he said, I forgot I have a meeting in 30 minutes. He looked at his mom. Mom, can you stay with Daniel for a bit? I'll be back later. I froze. Linda smiled. Of course. Ryan grabbed his keys and ran out. The door closed. And suddenly, it was just us. Again, we stood in the living room, not moving, not speaking. The air felt thick, heavy. She broke the silence first. Would you like some lemonade? She asked. Yes, I said. She went to the kitchen. I stayed in the living room, staring at the floor, trying to calm my breathing. When she returned, she handed me a glass. Our fingers touched. Just a second. But electricity shot through my arm. We both pulled back. She laughed nervously. Sorry. It's okay, I said. We sat at opposite sides of the couch. Drank in silence. Finally, she spoke. Daniel, I want to say something important. I looked at her. She took a deep breath. I care about you, she said slowly, not in a wrong way, in a human way. I nodded. I care about you too. But this cannot become something that hurts my son, she said. I know. And it cannot become something that ruins your life, she said. I know, I repeated. She smiled sadly. Then we must be strong. Yes, I said. And I believed it. For a moment. Then her phone rang. She checked it. Her face changed. My sister, she said. She needs help with something. I'll call her in my room. Please make yourself comfortable. She stood and walked upstairs. I stayed on the couch, trying to breathe, trying to remember why I came, trying to remember what was right. 10 minutes passed, then 15, then 20. I started to feel awkward. Maybe I should leave. I stood up, and that's when I heard it. A soft sound from upstairs. Not a voice, not a cry, just movement. Footsteps, slow, careful. Then, my name, very soft. Daniel. I froze. I looked toward the stairs. Daniel, can you come here for a moment? It was Linda. Her voice sounded different. Gentle, almost shy. I should have said no. I should have walked out. But my feet moved on their own. Up the stairs, step by step, heart beating fast. I stopped outside her bedroom door. It was open. She stood inside, wearing a simple home dress. Hair loose, bare feet. She smiled when she saw me. Thank you for coming, she said. What's wrong? I asked. She closed the door slowly. Not locking it, just closing it. I just wanted to talk privately, she said. We stood far apart. Silence again. Then she said something that broke my guard. I sometimes forget what it feels like to be seen as a woman. Those words, they were not dangerous. They were sad, and they touched something deep inside me. You are a woman, I said softly. She smiled. I know, but it feels nice to hear it from someone young, someone honest. She walked closer. Not touching, just close. I don't want to cross a line, she said. But I also don't want to pretend nothing happened. I swallowed. My mouth felt dry. I don't know what to do, I admitted. Neither do I, she said. We stood there. Two people. Lost. Confused. And then, very slowly, she reached for my hand. Just held it. Not pulling. Not pushing. Just holding. I did not pull away. And in that moment, everything changed. We did not kiss. Not yet. We did not touch more than hands. But the feeling was heavy. Real. Dangerous. She let go first. We must stop here, she said. Yes, I said. But neither of us moved. Finally, she stepped back. Thank you for coming upstairs, she said gently. You can go now. I nodded and left. That night I felt strange. Not excited. Not happy. Just worried. Because I knew something important. This was no longer an accident. This was a choice. And choices have consequences. A few days later, something unexpected happened. Ryan invited me to a party. Small gathering. Friends. Music. Food. Linda decided to come too. I never go out, she said, but tonight I feel brave. She wore a simple black dress. Nothing fancy, but she looked beautiful. Young. Alive. At the party, everyone laughed and danced. Ryan drank too much. So did I. Linda drank only a little. But she danced. Slow. Graceful. People noticed. Some men even looked at her. I felt something strange. Not desire. Not anger. Something like jealousy. That scared me. Later that night, Ryan went to talk with friends outside. Linda and I sat at a table. Quiet corner. She leaned close to speak over the music. You look handsome tonight, she said. Thank you, I replied. Her hand rested on the table near mine. Very close. Not touching, but close enough. Then something happened that I will never forget. A man came to our table. Older than me. Smiling. Hello, he said to Linda, would you like to dance? She looked surprised. Then smiled politely. Oh, thank you, but... Before she could finish, I spoke. I'm with her. The words came out before I could stop them. The man looked at me. Then at Linda. Oh, sorry, he said and walked away. Linda stared at me. Why died? What did you just say? She whispered. I don't know, I said. She looked down, then smiled. Not happy, not proud, just thoughtful. Later that night, when we were leaving, Ryan was too drunk to drive. So I drove them home. Ryan fell asleep in the back seat. Linda sat in the front, silent. When we reached the house, I helped Ryan inside and put him on the couch. He passed out, snoring. Linda and I stood in the kitchen. Alone again. Quiet again. She whispered, "Thank you for protecting me earlier." "I'm sorry," I said. "I shouldn't have said that." "No," she said softly. "It felt nice." We stood there. Close. Very close. And then she did something I did not expect. She touched my cheek. Very gently. Just a soft brush. My breath stopped. "I trust you," she said. And then, before I could think, before I could stop myself, I leaned forward. Just a little. And our lips almost touched. Almost. We stopped. One breath apart. Eyes closed. Then we heard it. Ryan moved on the couch. Groaned. Turned. We jumped apart. Heart racing. Linda covered her mouth. I stepped back. "I should go," I said. "Yes," she said. I left fast. Almost running. After that night, everything felt different. We stopped texting. We avoided being alone. We acted normal in front of Ryan. But the tension, it was always there. Like a storm waiting. And then, one afternoon, Ryan called me, panicked. "Dan, Mom fainted at work. They took her to the hospital. Can you come with me?" Of course, I went. At the hospital, she lay in bed. Pale, weak, but awake. When she saw me, her eyes softened. Ryan went to talk with the doctor, leaving us alone. Again, she whispered, "I'm glad you came." "Of course," I said. She reached for my hand, held it tight. "Daniel, I'm scared," she said. "Of what?" "Of losing control." Those words, they hit me hard. Before I could answer, the nurse came in. Then Ryan returned. Moment gone. But something else was born. Fear. Real fear. Because now, this was no longer about desire. This was about emotions. About dependency. About lines that were disappearing. 2 nights later, Linda sent me a message. A long one. "I cannot sleep. I keep thinking about you. I don't know if this is right or wrong anymore, but I feel safe with you. Please, can you come over just to talk?" I stared at the phone. For a long time. I knew this was dangerous. Very dangerous. But I also knew, if I said no, I might lose her trust forever. And I cared. Too much. So I wrote back, "Okay, I'm coming, just to talk." When I arrived, the house was dark. Lights off. Quiet. Ryan was working night shift. Linda opened the door. Wearing a robe. Hair loose. Eyes tired. She smiled. "Thank you," she said. We went to the living room. Sat. Talked. About fear. About life. About mistakes. Hours passed. Then she said something that changed everything. "Daniel, I think I'm falling for you." My heart stopped. I did not answer. I could not. She looked at me. Tears in her eyes. "I know it's wrong," she said, but I cannot lie to myself anymore. I stood up, shaking. This is too much, I said. We must stop. She nodded. I know. She stood too. Came close. Too close. And then, very slowly, she leaned forward and kissed me. Soft. Short. 1 second. Then pulled back. Eyes wide. Hand over her mouth. I'm so sorry, she whispered. I did not move. I did not speak. I did not know how to feel. Shock, guilt, desire, fear, all at once. She started to cry. I ruined everything, she said. I touched her arm. No, we just need to be careful. She looked at me, hope in her eyes. And that scared me more than anything. Because deep inside, I knew we had crossed a line that could never be erased. And just when I thought nothing worse could happen, we heard a sound. A car door. Outside. Lights through the window. Someone was coming home. Linda looked at me. Terror in her eyes. That's Ryan, she whispered. And then, the front door opened, and his voice called out, Mom, Daniel, I'm home early. I stood there, in the middle of the living room, while Linda wiped her tears, and footsteps started coming toward us. Ryan's footsteps came closer. Slow, heavy. Each step sounded like a warning. Linda and I froze. My heart felt like it was trying to break out of my chest. She wiped her tears fast with the sleeve of her robe. Sit, she whispered. Act normal. Normal? How could anything be normal now? I sat on the edge of the couch, my hands shaking. Linda stood near the table, pretending to fix something that did not need fixing. The living room light turned on. Ryan walked in. Tired. Hair messy. Jacket still on. He looked surprised when he saw me. Dan, he said, what are you doing here so late? I swallowed. Your mom texted me, I said. She wasn't feeling well after the hospital, so I came to check on her. Linda nodded quickly. Yes, she said. I felt dizzy again and I got scared. Ryan frowned. You should have called me. I didn't want to worry you, she said softly. Ryan sighed. Sorry I came back early, he said. My shift got cancelled. He looked between us. His eyes stayed on me a second longer than normal. Something in his face changed. Not anger. Not suspicion. Just curiosity. Everything okay? He asked. Yes, we both said at the same time. Too fast. Too perfect. Ryan raised an eyebrow. All right, he said slowly. I'm going to shower, long day. He walked toward the stairs. Each step away felt like a gift. When his bedroom door closed, Linda collapsed into the chair, her whole body shaking. That was close, she whispered. Yes, I said, too close. We sat in silence, listening. Water started running upstairs. Ryan in the shower. Time. A little time. I should leave, I said. Yes, she said, before something worse happens. I stood. She stood too. We walked toward the door together. Quiet. Careful. At the door, she stopped me. Daniel. Yes. She looked at me with sad eyes. I never wanted to hurt my son, she said. I know, I said. And I never wanted to put you in danger, she said. I know. She took a deep breath. This must end, she said. Yes, I agreed. She opened the door. I stepped outside. Cold night air hit my face. Before I left, I turned back. Take care of yourself, I said. You too, she whispered. The door closed, and I walked away, believing it was finally over. But endings are not always real endings. Sometimes they are only pauses. The next weeks were quiet, very quiet. I did not visit Ryan's house. I did not text Linda. I focused on work, saved money, tried to forget. Ryan and I still talked, played games online, went for lunch sometimes. Everything felt normal again, almost too normal. Linda acted the same when I saw her briefly. Kind, motherly, warm, no signs, no looks, no messages. I began to believe the danger had passed, that we had both chosen the right path. And for a while, we did, until something happened that changed everything. One afternoon, Ryan called me. His voice sounded strange. Dan, can you come over? I need to talk to you. Sure, I said. What's wrong? Just come, he said. When I arrived, Ryan was sitting on the couch. Serious, quiet, no game on, no music. Linda was not home. She's at work, he said. Good. At least I thought it was good. What's going on? I asked. Ryan rubbed his face. Dan, this is awkward. My stomach tightened. Okay. I don't know how to say this, he said. Just say it, I replied. He looked at me straight in the eyes. Do you have feelings for my mom? The world stopped. My ears rang. What? I said. I'm not stupid, he said. I've noticed things. Like what? I asked, trying to sound calm. The way you look at her sometimes, the way she looks at you, the night you were here late, the party when you said you were with her. My mouth went dry. I was just being polite, I said. Were you? He asked quietly. I did not answer. Silence filled the room. Long, heavy. Then Ryan said something that shocked me. Because I think she has feelings for you. My heart fell into my stomach. I saw messages on her phone by accident, he said. Your name kept coming up. Blood rushed to my head. What kind of messages? I asked carefully. Nothing clear, he said, just personal, emotional. He looked down. She's been happier lately, nervous sometimes, quiet sometimes. I want to know the truth. I wanted to lie. I really did. But this was my best friend. My brother. And lying now would only make things worse. So I chose the hardest thing. Honesty. Ryan, nothing happened, I said slowly. But yes, there were feelings, confusion. We both stopped it. His face went pale. So it's true, he whispered. I swear nothing physical happened, I said, and we ended it. He stood up, started packing. This is my mother, he said, and my best friend. I know, I said, and I'm ashamed. He stopped packing, looked at me, anger slowly rising in his eyes. Did you come to her room that day? He asked. My heart skipped. How do you? Answer me, he said. Yes, I admitted, but nothing happened. He laughed bitterly. Unbelievable. I never wanted to hurt you, I said. But you did, he said softly. Silence. Pain. I felt my chest hurt. I'll stay away, I said, from both of you if that helps. He shook his head. No, running won't fix this. He sat back down, covered his face. My mom deserves happiness, he said quietly, but not like this. I agree, I said. She's lonely, he said. Since Dad left, she never really healed. I know, I said. He looked at me again. Do you still have feelings for her? I hesitated, then told the truth. Yes, I said, but I won't act on them. He nodded slowly. Okay, he said, then we will set rules. What rules? You don't come here alone anymore, you don't text her privately, and you give both of us space. That's fair, I said. He sighed. I don't want to lose you as a friend, he said. You won't, I said. And in that moment, I thought we had saved everything. But life was not done with us yet. 2 weeks later, something unexpected happened. Linda fainted again. This time, at home, Ryan found her on the kitchen floor. Unconscious. He called an ambulance and called me. I rushed to the hospital. Doctors ran tests. Heart, blood, stress. After hours, they said the reason. Exhaustion, emotional strain, loneliness. When she woke up, she was weak, confused, scared. Ryan stayed by her side. I stood in the hallway, not sure if I should go in. Then the nurse said, she's asking for you. For me. Ryan looked at me, surprised, then nodded. Go, he said. Inside the room, Linda looked small, fragile. When she saw me, tears filled her eyes. I'm sorry, she whispered. For what? I asked. For everything, she said. I sat beside her bed, held her hand, just like before. But now, Ryan knew, and that changed everything. Daniel, I tried to forget, she said, but my heart is not listening. Linda, we must be careful, I said. I know, she said, but I'm tired of being alone. Those words, they broke me. I did not answer. She squeezed my hand. Please don't disappear from my life, she whispered. I won't, I said, but things must change. She nodded. Weak smile. After that, Ryan watched everything closely. Every look, every word, every moment. And slowly, something changed in him. Not anger, not jealousy, something like acceptance. One night, weeks later, he surprised me. We were sitting in my apartment, drinking soda. He said, Dan, can I ask you something very strange? Sure, I said. If my mom was not my mom, would you date her? My heart jumped. Why would you ask that? He stared at the floor. Because I want her to be happy, he said, and I trust you more than any stranger. I could not believe what I was hearing. Ryan, this is dangerous, I said. I know, he said, but I also know you would never hurt her. Silence. Heavy silence. I'm not saying now, he said, I'm just thinking. That conversation stayed in my head for days. And it slowly changed how I saw everything. Maybe this story was not only wrong. Maybe it was complicated, human, painful, but real. Then came the night that changed everything forever. Ryan went out with friends. Linda stayed home. She texted me, can you come? I feel very lonely tonight. I hesitated, remembered the rules, remembered the danger. But then she sent another message. I'm scared to sleep alone. My heart is racing. I went because I cared. When I arrived, she was sitting on the couch, blanket around her shoulders, TV off, lights dim. She smiled when she saw me. Thank you for coming, she said. We sat together, talked quietly, about fear, About agging. About dreams. Hours passed. At some point she said, "Stay tonight, just to make me feel safe." I hesitated, then nodded. I slept on the couch. She went to her room. Everything felt calm, safe, normal, until, in the middle of the night, I woke up. Someone was standing beside me. Linda, in her robe, tears on her face. "I had a bad dream," she whispered. "Can I sit with you?" I moved aside. She sat, then leaned her head on my chest, crying softly. I held her, just held her. No desire, only comfort. She slowly calmed. Her breathing slowed. Then, very gently, she lifted her head, looked at me, eyes full of emotion. "Daniel, please." Before I could ask what she meant, she kissed me. Not soft, not short, long, deep, full of feeling. And in that moment, I did not pull away. I kissed her back, for the first time, truly. And just when we were lost in that moment, we heard a sound that froze my blood. The front door opened. Lights turned on. Footsteps. Ryan's voice. "Mom, Dan, I'm home." Linda pulled away, her face white with terror. I stood up, shaking, because this time, there was no lie that could save us. And Ryan's footsteps were already coming toward the living room. Ryan's footsteps came closer. Slow, heavy. Each step sounded like a drum in my chest. Linda pulled away from me so fast her robe almost slipped. She stood up, fixing her hair with shaking hands. I stood frozen beside the couch. My heart felt like it had stopped. The living room light turned on. Ryan walked in, jacket half off, keys still in his hand. His eyes went first to his mother, then to me, then to the space between us. Too close, too wrong, too clear. He did not speak, not at first. Silence filled the room. Thick, painful, dangerous. Finally, he asked in a quiet voice, "What is going on here?" Linda opened her mouth, closed it. Tears filled her eyes. "Ryan," she whispered. He raised his hand. "No," he said softly, "let me hear it." She looked at me, begging. I took a deep breath. My voice shook. "Ryan, I'm so sorry." That was all it took. His face changed. Not anger, not shock, just heartbreak. "So it's true," he said slowly. Neither of us answered, because silence was already the truth. He laughed once, short, sad. "I trusted you," he said to me. "I know," I whispered. "And you," he said, turning to his mother, "you're all I had left." Linda began to cry. Real tears. Deep ones. "I never meant to hurt you," she said. "Never." "But you did," he said quietly. He sat down, covered his face with his hands. For a long time, no one spoke. Only the sound of Linda crying softly. Finally, Ryan looked up. His eyes were red, tired, older than I had ever seen him. "How long?" he asked. "Nothing physical until tonight," I said quickly. "I swear we tried to stop. We really did." He nodded slowly. "I believe you," he said. That surprised me. I don't understand," he said. "How did this happen?" Linda wiped her tears. "Because I was lonely," she said, "and because he was kind." Ryan closed his eyes. Lonely is not an excuse, he said gently, but I understand it. He stood up, walked to the window, looked outside for a long time. Then he turned back to us. Okay, he said. One word, but it carried weight. What now? I asked quietly. He thought for a moment, then said something I never expected. You both care about each other, he said. Yes, Linda whispered. Yes, I said. And I don't want to live in anger forever, he said. My breath caught. But he continued, this cannot continue in my house. I understand, I said. And not behind my back, he said. I understand, Linda said. He looked at her. Long. Deep. You deserve happiness, Mom, he said, but I need time, a lot of time. She nodded. I'll wait, she whispered. He turned to me. And you? Yes, I said. You hurt me, he said, but you also protected her many times. I tried, I said. He nodded slowly. Leave tonight, he said. Give us space. I will, I said. And I meant it. I grabbed my jacket. At the door, I stopped. I'm sorry, I said again. He nodded once. Not forgiving. Not hatting. Just tired. I left. The next weeks were the hardest of my life. Ryan stopped talking to me. Blocked me. Avoided me. Linda did not text. Did not call. Silence. Heavy silence. I focused on work. On saving money. On forgetting. But forgetting was impossible. Every night I replayed that moment. The kiss. The look in Ryan's eyes. The broken trust. I felt like I had destroyed a family. 2 months passed. Then one afternoon, my phone buzzed. Unknown number. I opened the message. It was Linda. Ryan has moved out to stay with a friend. He says he needs time. I understand. I just wanted you to know I'm okay, and I hope you are too. I stared at the screen. For a long time. Then I replied. I'm glad you're safe. Take care of yourself. She answered. Thank you for being kind to me when I needed it most. That was all. No more messages after that. A few weeks later, Ryan finally called me. My heart almost stopped when I saw his name. Hey, he said. Hey, I replied. Silence. Then he said, I'm not ready to forgive yet. I understand, I said. But I don't hate you, he said. That felt like air after drowning. Thank you, I whispered. She's moving to another city, he said, closer to her sister, fresh start. That's good, I said. Maybe one day, when time passes, things will make sense, he said. Maybe, I replied. Before hanging up, he said something that stayed with me forever. Life is not black and white, Dan. Sometimes, it's just people trying not to be alone. Years have passed since then. I moved to another state. Started a new life. New job. New friends. New love. Ryan and I talk sometimes. Not close, but respectful. As for Linda, I heard she found someone her age. Kind, gentle, who treats her well. And I am happy for her. Because she deserved healing, not confusion. This story taught me something important. Kindness can open hearts, but hearts are fragile. And lines exist for a reason. Not because love is wrong, but because timing matters. And consequences are real. So that is my story. About the moment I almost destroyed my best friend's family. because I wanted to save someone from loneliness. If you read this far, thank you. And I have one question for you. Do you think love is about rules or about understanding? Because sometimes the hardest part is choosing the right thing, even when your heart wants something else.